First of all, surprised, haven't heard from him?
I'm not entirely surprised. I think there's a whole slew of people that P. Diddy had interactions with or worked with over the years that are hesitant to come forward. I think there's lots of reasons for that. I think one of the main reasons is, what will this sort of association do for my public image?
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either.
Yeah, that's a printer. Give a shout out.
Ashton Kutcher has found himself tangled in some intense drama involving Diddy, as new evidence suggests he may have participated in questionable parties and possibly helped Diddy cover up dark secrets. This has taken everyone by surprise, especially with claims that Ashton may have even used his anti-trafficking organization to assist Diddy in these shady dealings. Even more surprising, there are rumors that his wife Mila Kunis could be involved too. With witnesses stepping forward and explosive claims emerging, Ashton's reputation as the good guy is facing serious challenges. Meanwhile, Diddy's recent arrest has social media buzzing, but Ashton's silence is raising eyebrows across the internet. The connection between Ashton and Diddy goes way back to the early 2000s. Ashton first met Diddy during his time on MTV's Punk'd, where he originally planned to prank Diddy. However, Diddy, who was then working on making the band, asked Ashton to drop the prank, and he obliged. What started as a cancelled prank turned into a lasting friendship, but now, with recent allegations, this past connection is taking on new meaning.
I called one day and I said, I heard that you are going to punk me, and I just don't think that's a good idea. I
don't think that's the way you said it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, then you tell the story.
I'm pretty sure that's not the way you said it. Okay. I don't think that's a good idea. Is that what you said?
A few years later, Ashton and Diddy were often seen together, having a great time at parties, going for runs, and shopping. Their bond was obvious, with Diddy showing a lot of admiration for Ashton. When Ashton was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world, Diddy praised him publicly, saying, "Kutcher is a sounding board for me. Like me, he's a mogul, a new media mogul. But we are yin and yang. I'm in your face, but he is understated, cool, suave." However, Ashton's recent silence on Diddy's arrest has caught people's attention. Many are wondering why he hasn't commented, given their close relationship. Some legal experts suggest that staying quiet might be a wise decision for Ashton and other celebrities involved, considering the seriousness of the allegations against Diddy.
First of all, surprised, haven't heard from him?
I'm not entirely surprised. I think there's a whole slew of people that P. Diddy had interactions with or worked with over the years that are hesitant to come forward. I think there's lots of reasons for that. I think one of the main reasons is, what will this sort of association do for my public image? A lot of celebrities, I think, really rely heavily on their public image. And with that comes, financial ramifications, possible loss of opportunities, brands that might not want to work with you if they come forward and, possibly defend him or maybe try to, explain some of his actions. So I think there's that. But then I also think there's probably a hesitancy for a lot of people to be called, even as witnesses, even if they didn't partake in any of these activities, to provide information. I think a lot of people are hesitant to come forward with that because that comes with a lot of other forms of exposure and, responsibility.
But the reality is, did Ashton know what was going down with Diddy? It sure seems like he did. In an old interview that has surfaced, where Ashton was asked about Diddy's legendary parties, it's been making its rounds online. Back in 2019, Sean Evans had Ashton on Hot Ones and tried to pry some info out about Diddy's exclusive events, but Ashton wasn't having it. He quickly changed the subject instead of spilling any kind of tea.
I have one, yeah. Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over Punk'd, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together. Like,
Fans are now filled with questions, wondering if Ashton was hiding the truth about what he knew regarding Diddy's controversial past. Many are starting to suspect this might be the case, especially with calls for authorities to investigate Ashton's anti-trafficking organization. People are asking how he can champion victims while being so closely connected to someone accused of similar serious crimes. This perceived hypocrisy is stirring up strong reactions, with many demanding clarity on Ashton's involvement. The rumors surrounding Ashton aren't entirely baseless either. Court documents reportedly mention Diddy's use of associates to lure, intimidate, and coerce victims under the guise of romance, leading to situations where victims were forced into exploitative acts. These accusations reveal a disturbing pattern, including transporting individuals across state lines and even internationally. Ashton's connection to one of Diddy's famous white parties, held in Beverly Hills on July 4, 2009, has come under scrutiny, with many now wondering if his involvement with Diddy's events suggests a deeper link to these alleged activities. Ashton's own image isn't without its controversies, making his connection with Diddy seem even more fitting to some. In 2017, Ashton and his wife, Mila Kunis, faced backlash after they wrote character letters in support of their That 70s Show co-star Danny Masterson. Masterson was accused of sexually assaulting 2 women in 2003, and although he was later sentenced to 30 years in prison, Ashton and Mila's support for him didn't go unnoticed. Fans were quick to criticize their decision to stand by someone facing such serious allegations, and the backlash left many questioning their judgment. In his letter, Ashton described Masterson as a positive influence over their 25-year friendship, emphasizing Masterson's honesty and supportive nature. He wrote, "Masterson has been nothing but a positive influence on me throughout my life. He's taught me about being direct and confronting issues in life and relationships head-on. He acknowledged the guilty verdicts, but expressed hope that his testament would be considered in the sentencing." Despite his words, many found Ashton's support difficult to reconcile with the gravity of the accusations against Masterson, casting doubt on his sincerity and sparking a lasting debate about his character.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or re-traumatize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Meanwhile, Mila described Masterson as an amazing friend, confidant, and above all, an outstanding older brother figure to me. She also wrote, "His caring nature and ability to offer guidance have been instrumental in my growth, both personally and professionally." Unfortunately, though, for Ashton and Mila, those letters became public, and fans were outraged that they chose to support someone who was accused of such heinous crimes. The backlash was intense, to say the least, and the couple had no choice but to post an apology video on Instagram. In the video, they tried to explain that their statements weren't meant to downplay the victim's trauma, but by then, the damage had already been done.
It looks like Chrissy Bixler wasn't the first person to call Ashton Kutcher out for what happened on February 21st, 2001. Chrissy has a friend named Aaron Smith Levin, posted a video to YouTube 7 months ago talking about what really happened that night. According to him, Aaron Smith alleges that Ashton Kutcher walked into the house that night, saw Ashley Ellerin dead on the floor, blood everywhere, walked out, sat in his car for an hour, freaked out, calling his team on what to do. His team told him not to call the police so that his name wouldn't be tied to the murder. Aaron said at the time Ashton Kutcher had been on That 70s Show for a few years, so they were afraid this could tarnish his name. After speaking to his team, he alleges that Ashton Kutcher calls Danny Masterson, which is the same thing as what Chrissy says. And on top of that, Aaron alleged that Ashton's team told him to go to the party that he was supposed to take Ashley to. He also said that it would have been impossible for Ashton Kutcher to see red wine stains on the carpet from the window. Not only would it have been too dark in the house, but you had to go in to see where the blood was. And he said that Ashton Kutcher not only lied, but police knew he lied. And had he not lied, it could have stopped Michael from killing again because he would have been caught and arrested.
Fans weren't willing to forgive Ashton and Mila so easily, and the backlash ultimately led Ashton to step down as chairman of Thorn, his anti-trafficking organization. He had founded Thorn in 2009 with his then-wife, Demi Moore, who who had faced her own controversy years earlier. After Ashton and Demi divorced, Mila joined Thorne as an observer on the board, but she also stepped down amid the public criticism. Adding to Ashton's complicated history, he has a tragic connection to the death of his former girlfriend, Ashley Ellerin. On February 21, 2001, Ashton had planned a date with Ashley but arrived at her house 2 hours late. He noticed her red BMW parked with the lights on and peeked through the window, seeing what he thought were red stains on the carpet. Assuming she was ignoring him because of his lateness, Ashton left, unaware that Ashley had been brutally murdered inside. When he learned the tragic news the next day, he immediately contacted the police and later testified, recalling, "My fingerprints were on the door, and I was freaking out." Although Ashton was never implicated in Ashley's murder, the case eventually led to the conviction of Michael Gargiulo, the Hollywood Ripper. Things took an even darker turn when Chrissy Bixler, one of Danny Masterson's accusers, made shocking claims on Instagram about Ashton's involvement on the night of Ashley Ellerin's death. In an Instagram story, she alleged, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone that night when you called Danny on February 21, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." Her post quickly stirred up fans, suggesting there could be more to Ashton's connection to that tragic night. Chrissy didn't stop there. In a comment, she further claimed that Ashton had spent over an hour outside Ashley's house in his car, talking to his manager about how to protect his career and reputation. She stated that he then called Danny and she overheard the entire conversation. Chrissy added that law enforcement was aware of what she was saying, which only fueled speculation and concern among fans. What do you think about the possibility of the feds arresting Ashton? Do you believe he might cut a deal to avoid charges? Share your thoughts in the comments below and be sure to check out the next video.